Hello, McKendree. It's Pastor Cyndi. I wanted to thank you, first of all, for Trunk or Treat. What a glorious evening we had. What a fun time. Thank you to everyone who decorated a trunk. There were so many creative stagings. And thank you to everyone who provided candy or helped with hot dogs or helped with traffic flow or invited children in your neighborhood to be part of that. It was such a wonderful evening and really helped us to meet some of the people in our community and let our community know that we care about them. And that was just so fun. I was thinking about Paul and Linda Norris out there decorating the sanctuary yesterday and putting up new banners and that kind of thing. And it just made me think about how I just didn't grow up in a church that did things like that. We didn't do things like put cloth on the pulpit or the altar table or hang up banners, and we certainly didn't change them out for different seasons of the year. I think I'd been at a United Methodist church that was doing that for a couple of years before I even noticed that somebody was doing that. But then someone explained to me why, and it really made me appreciate what was going on in worship and some of the stuff that I'd never thought about. We use white and gold. The white and gold we'll be using this Sunday for a particular reason. It is one of the holiest moments in the year. The times we use white and gold are times like Christmas Eve and times like Easter Sunday. And there are times when we recognize that God is with us in a unique and special way. Times like the white and gold reminding us of like the cloud that walks with Israel and leads Israel through the wilderness for 40 years as they're wandering through the wilderness, and that white cloud is leading them. And then Jesus on the mountaintop with a few of his disciples, and all of a sudden the clouds surround them and his clothes turn white and his face is shining, and they realize that God is with them in just a unique and powerful way. And that white is used at times when we just know God is with us in a special time. This Sunday at 11 o'clock, we'll have a baptism, and we usually change the cloth to white for baptism, because when we have this baptism, we're saying this person, God is with them, and in their baptism, they're connecting to God in just a unique and amazing and mysterious way, that in their baptism, they are so connected to Jesus Christ. It's like they die with Christ and they rise with Christ. We use white and gold at funerals. At funerals, we give thanks for how we've seen God working in the life of this person. And we also give thanks that in this moment, God is especially present, that we are commending this child of God into God's care, and that we are looking forward to being with that person and that hope of resurrection and eternal life that is coming about because of that strong connection to Jesus Christ and that resurrection of Jesus Christ. This Sunday, as I said, they've changed the decorations to white, the paraments to white, and we're going to read from 2 Corinthians, where Paul reminds us that the light of God, that was God who said, "Let there be light," in the darkness, and then later sends Jesus Christ to show us that light of love and what God is like. And Paul says that light of Christ shines in our hearts too, like a treasure in clay pots. Now, I didn't say cracked pots, but maybe some of you know some cracked pots that the light of Christ shines in too. Anyway, it's just a wonderful chance to give thanks for the ways that we have seen the light of Christ shining in people. And we'll light candles and name those who've been part of our church family who passed away in the last year, and acknowledge that they're fragile. They're fragile, and we are each of us fragile. And yet God chooses these fragile and ordinary clay pots to shine the light of Christ in this world. We'll have some extra candles, And there'll be some for you to light too as you come for Holy Communion. You can light a candle of your own, because each of these candles represents a person. And there have been people in your life who have shown you what the love of God is like, and you'll want to honor them too. You'll want to honor them too. That is how God works, isn't it? Jesus sends out disciples 2 by 2 so that people would see the light of God shining through them. And they're not perfect in any way, shape, or form. And yet he sends out people. And after the resurrection, he sends them out and says, go and make disciples. And he sends them out, each person with a story of how they have known Christ. I'm guessing there's someone in your life who cared enough about you to tell you the stories of Jesus Christ, who loved you enough to share a little bit of their own faith story and how God was working in them. And I'm guessing that you just want to say thank you. If they're alive, tell them thank you in person. But if it's someone that is no longer with us in worship, say thank you. Thank you for the ways that you've seen the light of Christ working in and through them. Thank you for this church in which we gather. We gather and share our own lives, share that light of Christ shining in us too. I'm thankful for you and grateful to be your pastor.